new in this world. And in my work, actually, or my study area, we use these sometimes to edit the layout of websites, but it's actually not the same thing as a program do, actually. So I'm not know everything.
Perfectly. Okay. People, I forgot. Anyone here in TNT for the first time? I forgot to make the question.
I'm not new in this in Talk and Talk, but in this type of class where we discuss technology or something like that is my first class, actually.
You are here on the wrong day. In general, my sessions are about technology and anything more philosophical. So more easy, so more not easy. Okay, no, not easy. More softly. I don't know.
Okay.
But today I put a topic more technical, but we can talk about we can make other questions. We are creating a good session.
Yeah, I can't see the topic of the classes before I subscribe, because my plan didn't share with me. So when I enter in a class, it's a new thing for me.
Perfectly. Welcome, how I say.
Thank you.
Well, Marcel, you can introduce yourself, please. Good night, good evening.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
My name is Marcel. I'm so sorry for my camera. It's broken. I need to buy a new one. I'm from Minas Gerais. I'm living in Belo Horizonte, currently living in Belo Horizonte. I'm working as a data engineer. And as the first question for me, the programming language, my favorite programming language, it's Python.
I'm learning Python for obligation.
Yeah, it's Python because as I work with data, it's the best language. Python and R, but R it's more for data scientists.
Yeah.
Than data engineers.
Perfectly. Felipe, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. My name is Felipe Lira. I am from Recife. I'm married, I have one daughter. I work as a network and security engineer. That's it. About programmer, I use sometimes Python to automatization some repetitive tasks, But it's only, I don't know much about classes or think much advanced, no, but the script that I use is a simple but functional script. That's it.
I want get the questions and put on the trash and create other session now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Letícia, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, my name is Letícia. I live in Porto Alegre, and I'm a software developer. And in my background, I work a lot with Java. Okay, and Delphi and the others.
No, Delphi, no. Delphi,
because
no.
I'm an old woman, and I started to work as IT, and I don't know, the IT, it's like a monster. Probably now it's the other type of the monster.
A old monster.
Yeah, it's the old monster.
Well, people, my name is Sabrina. I'm a host here since August last year. I'm a lawyer and a software developer. I make a migration of my career. I'm working with .NET, but today oh my God, I'm studying Python for a specific need if you have, but this is so interesting. I'm fun. I'm funny with that. I'm married. I live in Rio de Janeiro, in a city named Magé. I have so many pets, and I think it's that, people. I will start the first question, so I choose anyone, okay? My favorite language is C Sharp, C.NET, okay. But I think the language is just a language. We need to make how communication like the human languages. I think the languages, program languages are just a language, just so many rules to how talk anything. So I studied Java, I studied Node, I studied JavaScript, Python now. I think this is when we have a good basic uh, logic. Okay, logic. We can learn so many languages and use so many languages. But my favorite is C Sharp. And why? Because really, my husband is a C Sharp developer. And when I decide to study, I have more support. And I learn how to read more easy the C Sharp. Other languages I have more difficulty to read the code. In C Sharp I found I hope I forgot the word, okay. I think the code is more legible for me, okay? Readable, not legible. More readable for me. And you, Felipe, you not a developer, but you all of you people talk with if about one language if you know, and if you don't know anything, we can thinking.
I don't have a favorite because I know only one, Python, and I consider myself a basic use from Python, but it's when I start to learn the language, I saw how can I say, I could be productive, because it's a easy language and helped me a lot. There are a lot of documentation around the net and videos on YouTube, and that's it. If you learn the basic, the logic, you can evaluate for the level, to do more things. That's it.
In the American universities, through technology, science of information, they use the Python how the first language for the students, because it is a more logical and easyable for new students. I'm I don't agree with that, because how I know other language, when I see, I make a comparison, so my brain don't read so easy, but in general is a more easy language.
Yeah, the Python has a lot of modules and that I can use. That's it. It's a functionality
Perfectly.
for me.
Choose the other student, please. And
Okay, Isabel.
Okay. So in my graphic design course, I didn't study a lot languages, but I study in another online course called Zero to Mastery. I don't know if you guys know, but in this course I learned HTML and CSS, and in the future I will learn Java. And even that I just know 2 languages, and it's the basic languages actually. I think HTML is interesting because I discovered a website called Bootstrap. And when I try to do a website, simple website, I just copy and paste the code. So it's actually very easy. And I actually did a simple website using that. So it was very fun. So because of that, I think HTML and Bootstrap actually is a good way to do.
so good. I need to talk about CSS because this is an absolutely crazy tool. I hate CSS. When you put a configuration and anything works how you want, I don't know.
I have this problem too, because when I put something in CSS, didn't happen anything. So I think what I'm doing wrong. I don't know.
You put center lines,
Yeah.
center line, center.
Anything. Yeah.
Good luck.
Oh my God.
Choose anyone.
Okay, so what about you, Leticia?
I'm a backend developer, and a lot of languages about the backend, and I don't know anything about the front end. I understand the environment, and understand some frameworks, but for example, CSS, it's a crazy for me. Okay, I don't understand
Because
either.
he is crazy, okay?
Okay, but because I know, understand the aspects of the front end, okay, I understand a lot of back end. But I don't have a specific language. I think it depends the proposal of the how to use it. But I have a lot of background in Java, and use Java as a backend, and sometimes parts of the old Java as a front end too. Oh, it's the worst part. Okay. But I worked, for example, in the past when I started learning Swift, like a mobile, Apple Mobile. It's the parts when Apple migrate the Objective-C to Swift. Swift is easier to learn compared to Objective-C. Objective-C I abandoned in the second line. I tried to put a string on the view, and it's so crazy. And then I learned the other languages like a little bit like JavaScript, Python, and Go. Okay, but because I'm a curious person.
Choose Marcel, please. Leticia.
Marcel, go ahead.
As I said, I work with data, and in data, we work with Python and SQL. SQL is not a programming language, but you can do everything with SQL. Yeah, I solve all of my problem with Python. That, as Philippe said, there's a lot of different packages. It can help a lot, or it make it more efficient for us to deliver a code easily.
Today, my team make an API today with Python. Yeah. My team don't know how make that. We have a help of other developer, and we make a API today. We don't know how, but we have. we make the.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to use Python.
Yeah,
Or
I
just
need
an
start
API.
study that. Okay, people. Well, Felipe, what programming language do you think is most useful to learn today? Most useful to learn today?
Yeah, I think it's Python because it's not, I'm not saying it's because I'm learning, but in research or as you said, for beginning students, the most language programmers is used Python, because it's more easy to learn and intuitive, if you read, you learn fast. That's it.
Choose anyone, please.
Leticia.
Okay. In my opinion, I think the JavaScript because the front end, there is a lot of applications and frameworks how to use the front end. And when you talk about the data science, the Python, I think it's the most popular. But I don't know if Python it's used to build some applications like backend and front end. I don't know about this, but I read a lot of about the Python in data science and the JavaScript in the front end, and sometimes in the back end because there is a new frameworks to use that. And you, Marcel?
Yeah, for me it's Python again. But I agree with Felipe. It's really good to learn Python, and for beginners, I think that they can build things quickly, so that could help me to learn.
Choose anyone for make the question.
Isabel.
Okay, it's a difficult question for me because I don't know a lot of types of language, but I think all the language that involves data analysis or something like that, because in the days it's a thing that's important, and we have a lot of types of jobs, and data is too important for the companies and for the people actually. So I think study these language to understand more about data and manipulation that days. I think it's a good way to go.
In general, you choose Python too.
Python too. Yeah.
Because in general, Python is more useful language to data analytic because Python is an interpreted language, and because that this is more light to run. And we when you are treat more data, so many data, we need soft application, and the other language more, I don't know if this word exists in English, more robust, more more
Understand.
and the other language more have to run the data analysis. Is absolutely useful for this, but Python is more light for that. Well, this question, I don't know what I think about that because in general, I think that Python is a big language, I agree so many with all a lot of we said. But in Brazil, I think we have a big absence of Java developers because so many structural applications that of big companies are make on using Java, and Java and C# for me is more complete language because that we have so many jobs for Java developers and more than C# developers. So if I need talk for a beginner student, then you have a long career how a software developer. I suggest study Java because we have so many job. How I say? How I say? Vagas de emprego. Meu Deus do céu. I don't know.
Opportunities.
Opportunities. We have more opportunities to Java developers, so I think it's more useful for that.
Sabrina, how about salary? What the language programmer pay more the professional? You know?
Yeah, Java is a good salary in general. And I don't know because this is so complex because when we have a Python developer using this in big data, using for big marketplace I think these people gain more a big salary, bigger than other people. I don't know. But Java is a more safe. It's more safety for have a job because the applications Java don't stop so for the next years. Okay, I think it's a good language to learn.
Most of the applications, even in data, behind the scenes, they are made by Java developers. So Java, they have a good salary, but the salary it's based on your experience.
Yeah, exactly. People, I don't know if the question 3, I will exclude that because I think Leticia is people and me with can be respond the answer this question. Okay, I will for the other question. I don't know if it's a good question, but I will make and I explain. Okay. The question 4. When I talk, anyone here don't know what is open source programming languages or commercial programming languages? Anyone don't know what is? Okay,
it's like an operational system. Linux and Windows, the difference commercial and open source.
No. C#, for example, or Leticia, Java is a commercial language, okay?
And open source too.
Oh, well,
I think the .NET is similar now.
I will say that in general. Okay, people, I will explain, and we can go for the other question, okay? But I will explain for you, know the difference, okay? When I talk of open source programming language, we have a repository on the internet when some people are managing this repository with the base of language. The language are access for all people, and you can okay, you analyze the language because you don't have anyone thing for do. You see a problem, a bug in a language. You can make alteration and put for analyze for the managing of repository. And if then analyze and identify you are correctly and your change are okay, they approve, because that these languages are open source, because the source of these languages are in the internet, open for anyone, and your evolution are depending too of the community. Community work together to improve these languages. In general, Java and C# have a big company for your backup, okay? But today, these languages are true in open source too. So these languages in general are commercial languages, because are languages to more integrate with a big company and more closed. But in these days, this question, I don't know if more sense, because that C# and Java today is in open source too, okay? So we can go. A big problem in these questions. I don't know, the question 5 is a big problem for you, but I will talk about the... Okay. I make absolutely technical questions.
Yeah.
Leticia, when I make that?
How the question, the 5?
All of these questions. These
okay,
questions.
okay.
This question
I never just make these
really
questions.
Okay. The 5 question. What's the difference between interpreted and compiled program language? Okay. I explain. I don't know if you all understand. When you talk about the compiled language, for example, you type a code and you need a compiler, a tools compiler, and they create when you compile language, you create for example, other script when the machine understands it. Okay, when you talk about the interpreted language, how examples about the compiled language? C# and Java are 2 examples the compiled program language. Okay, when you talk about the interpreted language, you don't necessarily a compiler. Just the language it's interpreted. For example, JavaScript. The browser, there is a specific tool interpreted JavaScript. If, for example, you press the F12 in your browser, you sometimes see a lot of parts the JavaScript, and you change this, for example, and not necessarily the compile. The browser interpreted this. I think the Python is
Python
interpreted.
too. Yeah.
Python is interpreted, and then it's necessary the compiler. Okay, it's not necessary the middle step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in general too, the interpreted languages are reading in line, in sequence. When are talking about compiled language, is more complex, because when a part calls other part and calls other part and calls other part, in general.
You could just say compiled language, it's in a low level, and interpreted language, it's in a high level. It is just the difference. You don't need to manage memory. You don't need to memory any kind of hardware when you are dealing with interpreted language.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree, but can be because when I talk about high level or low level, are talking about the capacity to more
Coding
understand.
more with reusability and design patterns. Is that
No, no,
what
no, no.
No,
what
No.
you
no.
say?
High
When
level
you-
or low level are more how
Close to the machine, for example.
yeah, more
Okay.
close to machine.
When you talk about the low level, you need to code more specific zero or one, for example. Assembly, it's an example, the low
Yeah.
level language. You code
But
more
that
close to the
was
machine.
that was a long time ago.
Okay, but there is
see,
if you, for example, programming specific hardware,
Yeah.
you need
no,
to
I'm not
use
saying about the hardware in general, because if you are working with other language like C, C++, it's pretty similar to low level. I'm not. We don't need to go to details, because I don't know if you see, but Isabel, it's making
Okay.
she's
Okay,
a little bit confusing when you.
Okay, the difference
No,
is
it's
when
a
Okay.
new thing, interesting.
okay, when you talk the high level, it's closer to human understand. For example, if it's closer to understand the English, when you talk the 0, 1 or 0, it's a big difference when you talk about the high level and the low level. When you talk about the Java and JavaScript, the difference it's about the paradigm. If OOP or functional programming, for example.
Yeah. Absolutely that. Okay, people. Now I don't know if makes sense. Make the questions because this is
It's too technical.
yeah, exactly. Now I think this is I will go for the question 7. Okay. Isabel, what is your opinion on the growing popularity of web-based programming language such as JavaScript? I make the question based on so many commercials and internet commercials too. I marketing, so many courses are creating about so many languages, stalking if you can be a software developer in 3 months, if you need to learn the JavaScript or other language. What's your opinion on this growing popularity of this language? What's your opinion about that?
Okay. I think actually here in Brazil, I don't know if in the days actually this reality is actually a reality right now, but I know being a developer is a very required. I don't know if this word exists, but requerido
It's
for
required.
the required. Oh, thank you. For many companies, so I think it's interesting and good to people search more about this and learn. But about this course, like for example, learn some language in 3 weeks or something like that. It's actually important to search a lot before choose something like that, and use your time with clarity and do step by step and not do something that you don't know actually before study these things with calm actually. So I think it's important to understand more about that, but be careful with this type of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
Exactly. It's a trap. What do you think about that, Marcel? Talk about.
It's a trap. I don't know anything about front-end developer. I'm not the guy to talk about front-end.
Okay.
But I
Leticia,
know this kind of course, it's a trap.
absolutely.
I think
It's just good for who made the course.
So I understand. Sorry.
It's better for who made the course.
Okay. Go, Leticia, please.
the number seven.
7.
Okay, I think it's when you talk about the JavaScript, I remember in 2015 there is a boom about many other frameworks how to use the JavaScript, and because I think the part on the JavaScript changed the web-based deep programming. For example, I remember this because I was a backend developer. And I remember a lot of booms with the frameworks and the other things.
When start the ES6?
Yes, because the access specification change a lot of the internet. But if you think this question and you connect this nowadays, for example, if you think the boom of the other language, Python, it's the other example. In my opinion, other peoples don't study computer science, don't have a background with the technology. They migrate the career, or they study of statistics in their life and other things. Use the Python now because Python, it's easy. It's more, it's easier. It's how can I say, direct with the point, okay? And they create a lot of tools to use the Python for the data science now. But I remember in 2005, a long time ago, when I was working as a Delphi, and the web-based internet, it's not existing in
console applications.
It's just a console application. Me no, but I have a co-worker working with the Python because he creates a script to create formulas. How can I say English? I don't know. In the math, and they calculate any parts of the necessary in the application. And I use the scripts Python to connect the Delphi, and I input some data, and I receive many of installments, for example, about this. And it's a tool. A long time ago. A long time ago when I started in my career of development. But now there is a boom, and the Python and many of languages, it's too old, but it depends the environment when I live there, and the tools involved this. Nowadays it's more booms with how to use.
Yeah, I agree with you. But in general, I think the growing popularity of JavaScript and the other languages in these days, not the common boom, okay? I think we have a big boom because the pandemic and the grow up of needed to enterprises put your projects in they run so many accelerate, so I don't know, and how Marcel said, I think so many these courses is a trap. When I start my career migration, we don't have the pandemic yet, and I don't know, I see the change of the market because I start my career migration a little before the pandemic, and I found my first job in pandemic, and I see the change of the market because before we have one or two people talking about learning language and how we can how you can be software programming. We have one or two people talking about before after the pandemic. In the pandemic, the marketing of this type of discourse courses, we have an explosion of this. We need learning about JavaScript. We need learning this because this is the job of the future. You can learn in three months. Okay, I think this is a trap, and this can be more people are frustrating because this is not the reality. So I think is more philosophical question about this
Okay.
session.
I agree with you, but I think there is the other things involved this. If you think the internet started, for example, in the first time, in the first of the step the internet, you just put information in the internet. Okay,
Yeah.
it's only HTML and I don't know. Have idea if the CSS exists at the time. Okay,
it was
but
static. It was static.
yes, static.
HTML1,
And
it was
you
static.
just, it's a new environment for people. And the maturity, and after years, the maturity of the people, how to use the internet, they understand that you create softwares and put this in the internet. And now, and the other parts to collect some data. And now you have a lot of data in the internet, and we live in the other moment when how to use this data and what the data create new environments and the other things, and how to use the data to improve their programs. I think the language and these specific booms, it's follow the maturity how to people use the internet. I think it's the walking together.
You have a good opinion about that. I don't I don't think about this is a good point of view.
I remember I watched the video in the YouTube when you talk about the web 1.20, 2.20, and 3.0. Okay,
Yeah.
and they explain about this difference. I can find the
I want. Okay, people. I will think. I will make the question 8, and we can answer this question more philosophical than more technical. Okay, we can talk what is the importance of learning several programming languages, or how it is important some things in the same aspect. Okay, so Marcel, what is your opinion about the importance of learning several programming languages, or learning several tools to use in your job, different tools? What do you think? What's the opinion about that?
I think everyone needs to learn a little bit about not any specific programming language, but know a little bit about logic, and this help a lot to solve problems on a daily basis. And the programming language, it depends what kind of field do you want to work, and but the logic it's more important.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Isabel?
Well, I think it's important as well, but I think it's most important if you choose the right language or tools for your goal, to manage well your time and think about it, what you have to learn to take this goal. So I think this is the most important before learn a lot of types for tools or language. And another thing, actually, for new people learn language or something like that, I think it's important, or it's a thing to think about it. The people that start a new startup or a new company that has a simple software, a simple website, but in the beginning they don't have much money. So I think it's important for these people learn something about it. And when they get more money or something like that, they actually contract a good professional to do that. So I think it's important for these people learn about these languages as well.
Yeah, I'm a teach poor people on the pandemic. Students of the public schools, and the school choose the Java to learn to teach for them, because is a language more complex. Between the complex language is more accessible language, because all tools are free, and how I said before, we have so many job opportunities to Java developers. So I talk to them. I saw you need to study this and more in this language, in this topic. After then, you can study other languages, you can study other things, because you need to know good base to this for you learn other things. If you don't that, you know a little with about your so many things, and you know about anyone. Okay, what do you think, Leticia?
Nowadays, I think depends the seniority, the programmer, for example. Okay, I understand the base, the principles. It's the better when you understand it, and it independs the language, because if you think that the base, the data structure, the algorithms, and you apply in different languages, in all languages you apply this. And it depends, for example, Java, it's more verbose, and Python, it's less verbose, for example.
Yeah.
But you apply the same structure, the same base. But if you think when you are more seniority about more experience about in your career, in my opinion, it's important to understand the trade-offs, the different languages. For example, you talk about a lot about the Java. Java and .NET. It's a old language, and there is a lot of opportunity because it's a stable language. If you think, for example, the React, the JavaScript, and the other frameworks and the other languages about other tools about this, sometimes they broken when you change the version. And in the past, Java and .NET, it's many companies, business companies, create a lot of tools, services use this, and this expend a lot of money to do this, and it's impossible to change it one day in the other day how this software. But you think the new digital products, for example, sometimes now when you create, people understand it's better to use the other types of the language, like Kotlin and Go, for example.
Yeah.
Depends the proposal. Go, it's a lot to use the infrastructure now,
Yeah.
and the Kotlin, it's a better substitute the Java, and they run into JVM, but it's easier to write the code, because Java, it's verbose, and it's a long, it's a old language, and the propose it's not break than other versions, and sometimes the improve it's less one version than the other, and it's a good example. But in the future, for example, the JavaScript in the Go and the others, probably in 20 years after, probably there is the same problem.
Absolutely, I agree. People, I will can't continue because the time. So I send the link of the form for you give your opinion and suggestion of topics. I always read the opinions, the suggestions. Sometimes I choose a theme as topic about the suggestion, and I I really never make questions so technical how I made today. Never, never. Leticia is here since August, and I never make these questions. Always my topics are so many philosophical. Uh, in the next week, I will make the questions about the ethics of artificial intelligence, so philosophical topic. But today I make this topic more technical, but this is a good session. I'm so glad if your presence, and I wait your presence in the next Wednesday. I want your presence, and I'm glad for this. Okay, people, thank you for that. I send my LinkedIn too. We are here to make more connections, more networking, and I'm here to talk about philosophical topics. Okay, I prefer always. Okay, people, thanks for that.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank
Good
you so
night for
much.
everyone.
Bye bye. Thank
Yeah.
you.